center cap off, use a straight blade screwdriver, just pry in there, slide that off. Use a 19mm socket, take the lug nuts off. Remove the wheel. Use a 13mm socket, take these two bolts out. Now I'm going to pry the caliper off, just with a pry bar. And then take a brake caliper hanger and find a place that you can hang it from, whether it's the upper control arm or the coil spring. Just make sure there's no tension on the brake hose. Take the brake pads off. Now I'm going to take these two bolts out for the caliper bracket. Use an 18mm socket. Those bolts out, and grab the bracket and just slide it off the rotor. Now I'll take the bracket off the caliper, use an 18mm wrench and a 17mm socket. Take this bolt out. Same with this one. Take the bracket, just put a thin coat of brake caliper grease right there, and take the brake pad slide or anti-rattle clips, slide that in position, put another thin coat of grease, and do the same on this side. Now take this piece on the back of the caliper and slide this in position. So if you look at where the longer part of the ear is, right there, that's going to go towards where the pistons are, and then just slide this in place. You might have to use a screwdriver. If you flip this over from this side, we'll just slide this like that and just pry it right there. Just push that up. It's all the way down. Now slide the bracket over the rotor, put the bolts back in, and tighten these down. And torque these bolts to 110 foot-pounds. Now install the brake pads. I'm going to take the caliper, slide it over the brake pads, and get the bolts started. Now I'm going to torque these bolts to 31 foot-pounds. Pull the old caliper off the brake hanger. And we're going to pop this line off. Use an 11mm socket. You might want a drain bucket. Make sure the reservoir for the brake master cylinder is full. You don't want all the fluid to come out. Take that off. And we want to take this seal off right here. Just use some pliers. Take that off. We have the new seals. So one seal goes below the hose. One seal goes on the bolt. Slide the bolt through. And then get it threaded into the caliper. Now I'll torque this bolt to 30 foot-pounds. Pop this cap off the bleeder. You can just use a pick. And use a 10mm wrench. Just loosen up the bleeder. And we're going to gravity bleed this first. Make sure there's plenty of fluid in the reservoir up top. And once we start seeing fluid, then we'll just bleed it conventionally. Now we're going to bleed the brakes. I'm going to close this bleeder screw. I'm going to have an assistant in the vehicle. Go ahead and pump the brakes nice and slow. About 5 times. I can see the calipers filling up with fluid. All right, you want to hold it down. And while they're holding it, I'm just going to open the bleeder screw, let some of the air out, and close it. All right, go ahead, pump it up again, and hold it. While they're holding it, just open it up. Take a look at that stream. It looks pretty good. We'll do it a couple more times. All right, go ahead, pump it. Bleeder screw is closed right now. All right, hold it. Open the bleeder screw. All right, pump it. Hold it. Open the bleeder screw. And that looks like a good stream. All right, so I'll tighten that down. All right, go ahead and pump it. Make sure everything feels good, then you can spray this all down with brake parts cleaner. After you go for a road test, you want to double check, make sure there's no leaks. You put this cap back on and remove the lug nut. Install the wheel. Put the lug nuts on. Now I'm going to torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check.